Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Ilmarin. So yeah, to the first poster whose name I'm about, or handle, I suppose I'm about to butcher. Soapy? I don't know how to say that, so my apologies. Thank you very much. Those are some models I painted, I don't know, a year or two ago. They're probably the last good-looking thing I painted. I've really been on I don't know. I've been struggling lately to make things that make me happy in terms of painting. But I painted these guys up for the War Master tournament. The last time we played CAV-CON, Todd Farnholtz, one of our Ron, like Pinky Princess Ron, like related to. Anyway, so yeah, from the War Master tournament, Todd Farnholtz was kind enough to put together, like a specialized tournament, and had some special rules. And so I managed to stumble into a list that nobody thought of, and I did a decent job. I enjoyed painting these guys. That's all. There are no stickers there. I painted all those little logos by hand because, I don't know, I'm dumb. They're not bad, but we'll take those off there because that's not what we're here for. We're here to see my glove. Cool. Well, Soapy. Well, that's easy to say. So, Soapy, nice to see you. I don't remember you being here. Ilmarin. So, yeah. The dreaded school buses. Apparently, thank goodness in real life, I'm better at making school buses. Actually, I don't make school buses. I answer data questions about school buses, but that's beside the point. Yeah, so fortunately my company is much better at making school buses than me because I have really struggled with those things. I painted some white, I painted some purple over the white. I decided I hated the way all that looked, and so I spent last night spraying over them so there's no longer any purple on them. And now I'm going to send them back to the pure yellow school bus stages. So yeah, I just sprayed over it with kind of a darker color. I'm going to come back in and make them, they're just going to be more of a yellow with edge highlighting of white and some black for the stuff in the canopies and whatnot. Anyway, I have not struggled with, no problem, Ilmarin. I is what it is. I thought it would be a cool thing to stream while I was painting, but, gosh. I've just really been struggling lately with painting. So I'm glad everybody's here, especially you, Soapy. I think this is the first time you ever stopped by. I hope everybody saw the exciting news today, at least exciting for me. Looks like they're planning on having a physical ReaperCon this year. September, I don't know, right at the beginning of September. I don't know the exact dates. Maybe through the 5th, I think is the date ends. 3rd through the 5th or 2nd through the 5th or something like that. Oh, well, that's cool, Soapy. I didn't realize. I'm glad you found some time to come and hang out with us on Monday. So I'm excited to at least have the opportunity to go to ReaperCon. I haven't made up my mind. My wife and I have sort of been debating it. We're trying to decide what we think about, hanging out with that many people. 2020 made us, kind of, reconsider such things. And we haven't made up our minds yet if we have intentions of going. But I would say probably, but I don't know yet. We haven't quite committed in our heads to that idea yet. Yeah, so great, sweet for ReaperCon. Yeah, I love ReaperCon. I love the people I get to hang out with at ReaperCon. Just trying to make sure that that's the right thing to do. I mean, just I don't want to be a school kid and go, oh look, it's Christmas. I should tear the packages open just because they're under the tree. Sometimes you got to think about things. So anyway, thinking about things. Cav Ball is a game that we're going to try and... let me rephrase that. Cav Ball is not a game. Cav Ball is sort of like a demonstration, a demo, like an event, sort of like it's like WWE wrestling a little bit. It's not really a sport, but it it's entertaining. So, and it's sporty, or I don't know. It's certainly physical. Anyway, so CAV Ball is this game that I've been trying to brainstorm some rules for. So we'll have something to stream, some other things to stream during virtual CAV-CON. And as part of it, we need some terrain. And so I'm going to be painting up a little bit of terrain stuff. And I got the 2 CAV Ball teams in today. I got to get cleaned up and painted. But I'm going to try and make these really quick, down and dirty sort of, lean heavily into the airbrush sort of things. And I'm going to leverage some of my brownie points and make my wife help me clean them up and get them together and whatnot. She's the one that's been playtesting it with me. She seems to like it. So cross our fingers. It's something that's entertaining and fun, and you can get a hoot out of. It's our intention to have some audience participation where the people in the Twitch stream can interact with the models on the field, maybe do mean things to them if they should be in the mood to do things like that. Anyway, those are some ideas. So I got this tower. I want it to be kind of sporty looking, like the sort of thing that you might see in like some sort of glitzy sporting event. So I want it to be brightly colored with crisp lines and stuff like that. So my wife picked out this brilliant red that we have from Reaper. It's an old Reaper paint, but it's still pretty good. I got it shaken up and ready to go. Loaded up in my airbrush. And so the idea is I'm going to paint this thing red and then peel off this tape and have some white stripes, and I don't know, I'll probably put some shadows and highlights in with the airbrush, but not trying to do anything too crazy here. I might paint these power conduit looking thingies by hand. I might not. I got 4 of these to do, so we'll see where it goes from there. Hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, Soapy, it's super good to see you hanging out. Yes, it was ReaperCon has been a lot of fun every time I've ever been to it. Well, poop. Hold on a second. I got to check my air supply. Just a minute. All right. Hopefully that'll work now. Sorry about that. Professional streaming here at its best, obviously. Yeah. So, just going in. I've got a lot of red to lay down. Probably, well, I don't know. Keep this simple, I think, is the right approach this time. So no, John's been working really hard on getting stuff together, and I know the other fellows that are painting up armies for virtual CAV-CON are hard at work. I see them posting here and there. I see a lot of people posting up their own pictures. Don't forget, we're having painting contest is the wrong word. We're just sort of having a painting celebration of all things CAVs. So paint up your CAVs, post pictures of stuff you've already painted in the past that maybe we might not have seen, or some of the newer people may not have seen. It seems like we've been gathering a lot of nice attention lately. It's there's every week there's more and more people I'm approving to join the Facebook groups, or just whatever happens to be their method of communication of choice. Yeah, Ilmarin, I love seeing your stuff. Yeah, I've got a rock army that, before, we got involved with virtual CAV-CON, I had intended, I don't have any painted rock models. And I was thinking, the rock are kind of they're kind of a big deal in CAVs. So I might need to have some models painted up with, from the rock empire. And so I made up a list and I ordered it, and it's sitting over on the shelf because then we got busy with CAV-CON. Now that we know that there's going to be a push for there to be a physical ReaperCon, when you guys see John on later in the week, you need to, hey, Tiger Wraith, how's it going? You need to, bug him, ask him what's going on. Are we going to get a chance to, are we going to get a CAV-CON in conjunction with ReaperCon, or What's the deal? I mean, I hate to sick you guys on him like that, but, you know, he's the only one that knows the answer. Or can even take a swing at the answer. So, I will continue to pester him. I think I'm going to try and mount this up on my Citadel handle and see if that will work. See if that'll work. So Tiger Wraith, I saw a picture you shared the other day. Is that what you're going to drive to virtual CAV-CON? Come on now. Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Stand by for news. All right. Come on now, Tiger Wraith. That's what... You could save 2 or 3 hours on the trip with that thing. You could be down here in a heartbeat. Am I out of paint? I'm out of paint already. All right. Yeah, truth. Still, it looked like a lot of fun to ride around in. I don't know what your plans are, but I hope you're safe and I hope you have a great time with it, whatever it is. So a little bit later in the show, I'm going to show off a couple of little things that John sent me today. I haven't had a chance to tinker with them very much. They're nothing, you know, it's not a Badger, that's for sure. God bless, we'd lead with that. We wouldn't bury that headline. But, you know, just some interesting bits that he's been working on, things he's been thinking about. I'll let you make what you will of this sort of thing. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to at least get this red down here. Maybe if we can get this, actually spring, yeah. If we can get this red down, maybe before the end of the show we can try and take this tape off and see if this is a worthwhile endeavor or if we're just peeling up the underlying paint. I only got this thing primered today. I've been really busy trying to mess with that Malvernus force of mine. Just laying down some heavy duty red. Like I said, I'm looking for 112 miles a day for work. Good Lord. Huntsman, I just went back in and blocked out that purple that was on them. Make sure I don't have any paint on my hands. So I just took some yellow in the airbrush, a little darker yellow, actually much more of a school bus yellow. I took this ink. This is Indian Yellow ink by Dalarani. And I painted white over the purple, and then I came in and kind of hit those and tried to build up some shadows. I don't know if did you see the, my goodness, sparks. Wow. Everybody's showing up tonight. Yeah, I'm going to try and push it towards that Monpac model that I was showing off on the stream Saturday. I did kind of an impromptu, hey, I'm painting, I might as well jump on the stream and, you know, just in case anybody had time to hang out, sort of thing. And a few people showed up, including the good Huntsman. Just get a very good, hard, solid coat of red down on all this. And then I'll take something like a darker, like a mahogany or something, and come in and give it a few airbrushed shadows and whatnot. 112-mile commute. Round trip. All right, so 50-plus miles. I mean, it's not totally terrible. Certainly not good, but, you know. Gives you time to listen to a good audiobook or something. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being on the phone with your wife. I mean, you know, people like their wives. I like my wife. Good for you. Better. She's probably listening. All right, Sparks. We're putting you in the John category. He always goes for the, you know, the lowest common denominator. Gosh. If you guys could be a fly on the wall, the number of times I've just, oh my gosh. The CAV group will, they will sometimes, they're 12. They're basically 12-year-olds. That's what they are. It's okay. Being 12 was fun. 600 years ago. All right. I think we'll let that sit and dry for just a minute. And then maybe we can talk real briefly about some of the goodies that John sent my way. A handful of things. Hold on, I got to go grab them. So, I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity or ever had the need, but so these are something that I have from before. So this is not what John sent me, but it's very similar. So, you know, John is the kind of person who likes a very small base, so it's out of the way. He doesn't really enjoy bases. He wants them to be, you know, as inobtrusive as possible. Whereas me, I like telling stories with bases. So John cut me out a bunch of these big MDF squares, so I would stop using. I don't know. He just did it for me one day because he's such a nice guy. And so he sent me the CAV ball team that I'm painting up, or the 2 CAV ball teams that I'm painting up, and in it was some goodies, which I will show to you without a ton of comment. But yeah, so these are all 40 millimeter. Yeah, those are 40s, right? Yeah, these are 40 millimeter hexes, which I think are appropriately sized for, you know, doing a. I like putting calves on 40 millimeter models or bases. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's grab this guy. All right. So, like I said, I don't know if any of you remember, but back, you know, a few months ago, we were working on these Kit Bash self-propelled guns, and that's basically what these are mounted on, is these 40 millimeter bases here, right? And you know, like I said, it gives me room to tell a story. There's a field and some flowers. It's a spring day. There's barbed wire. These guys are driving over. You know, there's some story elements there. But now, John has made a selection of these things. And this is kind of interesting, too. This base is quite thick. I don't know, probably 6 millimeter, maybe? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not very good with the metric system. So ones he sent me are quite thin. These are probably like 3 millimeter, I'm guessing. Sparks. At the risk of being nationist, does that look like 6 millimeters to you? Can you tell? Come on now, you're a metric genius. Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Tiger Wraith. If you want to mount your quads, you don't have to mount quads, I don't think, but you know, that doesn't really matter. So here's another one. Kind of just a grid pattern cut across there. And, you know, I just think, you know, you might be able to, you know, you stick a CAV on here, right? I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for a base. But, I mean, I think there's some interesting things you can do with that. Alternately, you know, these don't have to be bases, right? I mean, you could turn this into some kind of interesting terrain piece. Yeah, you might be right, Sparks. I'm just a regular sized fella. Here's another one. A little different look to it. This one is, I hadn't noticed this before, and I don't know if you can see it on screen. Let me see if I can make this happen. All right. So he's cut this grain pattern in there. See if you can see this on screen. Can you see through that? Can you tell that? Can you see the white through those little crevices? Especially up here at the top where my finger is rocking it. I feel like maybe you can see that, maybe? Cool. So yeah, he's cut these all the way through. This is very interesting. I don't know quite what to do with this, but you know, you could do all kinds of cool things with this. I'm sure since it's cut all the way through, you could probably snap pieces of it off and make fragments for, you know, terrain bits, or I bet you could airbrush through that and use it as some kind of funky stencil, or again, just turn it into some crazy piece of terrain. This is one of my favorites right here. This looks to me like the deck plate of a dropship or something. So Good Huntsman. In a tournament, all the models have to be on the same sizes. There are a few exceptions. Quads are an exception because the quad. Hold on a second, I have one handy. Here's a Simba. A quad, you know, it's a 40 millimeter base to a quad is kind of not big enough. Sorry, let me get that on screen, right? So I mean, what's the point of putting that guy on a 40 millimeter? So I believe, Tiger Wraith, I'm sure you can correct me if I'm wrong, you can either go without a base for a quad in a tournament setting. Again, if you're just in any other place other than CAV-CON tournament, you put whatever bases on them you want. It makes no difference whatsoever. It's whatever makes you happy. There are 50 millimeter bases that John has made for me, but I don't happen to have any handy. I think those are downstairs. And they fit this guy a little bit better, but even those, he's not standing completely on it. So if you want, you don't even have to mount this guy, you know, on a base. You can play with him without a base. And vehicles aren't required to have bases. Yeah, Huntsman. So all the CAV, anything you put on a base other than a quad has to be on the same size base. You don't have to base vehicles at all, but if you do, they have to be on a 40 millimeter base. I think it's probably the right way to go there, Tiger Wraith. Now, Tiger Wraith, correct me if I'm wrong. I think maybe aircraft are also exceptions because they use the flying stand. They don't have to go on the same size base, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. All right, so take a quick look at this. Like I said, we're just letting this red paint dry, hopefully. Here's another one. Looks like, I don't know, again, maybe a piece of decking plate, or maybe a piece of a road, maybe? I mean, now that you think about it, that's might be scaled properly for a car. I mean, that's the center line, I guess, and a sidewalky thing. I think there's a lot of potential with that one. I like that one quite a bit. So this is a thick and a thin version of these two hexes. Yeah, Ilmarin, you're probably right. I think you're probably right. But I just really like the way these look. I mean, these, with that Badger coming up, right? You might be able to use these to do, I don't know, maybe a piece of interior or something. I'm not sure. So aircraft can land. I actually did that in the War Master tournament. I had an aircraft land when I knew it was safe, so it could claim a point to score me an objective point. But that's the only time I've ever done it, and it's not very common. And if you're an aircraft parked on the ground, you're basically dead and you don't know it yet. But I managed to get away with it because the game was basically over. I was just scoring points at the end of the at the end of the round. So yeah, those look good. Here's a thicker version of this guy. And then looks like just more, it is like, so here, how many of these we got? We got grid pattern. Oh, I only got one of the really cool crackle base thing. That's kind of neat. Maybe because of the way it's burned all the way through, he can't, maybe you can't do it in the small one, or maybe you just forgot to send me one. I don't know. That's cool. I'm happy to have these. Got to figure out what to do with them now. But yeah, absolutely. So there's that. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types. So that's pretty interesting. Give you an opportunity to base your stuff with a little bit of style. Yeah, sparks. That sounds fantastic. I would love to see something like that. I mean, the Badger, got to get my hands on one of those. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there for making like a display like thing for your tournament force. You know, if you could find a way to modify that thing so you could open it up and display your army standing inside it, your force, or at least part of your force. Gosh, I guess I think John said that thing would carry 4 or 6, something like that. So you might need more than one of them, which is not really a problem in my mind. To be able to display your entire army. All right, so here's the last thing that John sent me. I'm sure there must be some more secrets like hiding in his vault, his fortress of solitude up there. But so here's the thing. I'm guessing you all very quickly will figure out what this is. I haven't had a chance to punch it out yet. Anybody? Bueller? Soapy? Anyway, I'm sure it's a miniature painting handle, right? No, it's a miniature painting handle. I'm pretty sure. So I'm guessing like this is a thing where you like you hold on to it and you put your finger up here to let you balance it. That's what I think it is. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an MDF cutout that you assemble. Well, like, I mean, what the heck? Still got paint to dry. Let's just play with it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Let's punch it out. I feel like I should probably really go in and cut these little holder tabs that he left in there, but that would be for people with patience. I am not the people with the patience. Hopefully I don't tear anything up. Maybe I need some patience. Hold on, let me get an X-Acto. The engineers in the crowd are going to be mad at me for not taking my time and following the directions. Boy, this is a narrow cut. That laser cutter of his is amazing. Yeah, probably, Soapy. I double-sided tape maybe, or something along those lines. Not 100% sure. But I mean, it's like any of the, the non-spring powered ones. All right. No instructions here, right? Let's see if we can figure this out. All right. So I'm guessing this part goes in here like this. And then maybe I need to put this one on first. Am I doing? Yeah, I think I'm doing this right. All right, look, there's an arrow. That's trying to tell me something. I'm not sure I'm smart enough to hear it, but that is definitely trying to tell me something. All right. Well, that's clearly not going to work. That looks like it might work. Yeah, there we go. All right. Step 1. I would never make it out of an escape room. Never. Step 2. Step 3. Step 4. All right, yeah, I can see that. Now, obviously, you would want to put some glue on here, right? To make these things hold together. But I mean, then the idea is, right, you put your miniature right here with some probably double-sided tape, I'm guessing. Here, let me grab some. I'm pretty sure I've got some double-sided tape. Do I? I think I may have loaned it to the daughter, the one named daughter. So, no double-sided tape for me. Bad old daughters. What's wrong with them? guess we can. But yeah. Let's see if I can get some of this black sticky stuff here. See if I can get this stuff to actually be sticky for once in its life. Probably not. Yeah, seriously, Sparks. I'm not particularly good at puzzles. My spatial awareness is not the bestest in the world. So this stuff is moisture sealing electrical tape, which I believe Ludo told me was a good thing to stick miniatures to bases and whatnot. So I bought some, and I've never. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, get that on there, put that on there, and so now I can hold this while I paint my miniature. And if I need to, I can come in here with a brush. Not that I know how to use a brush, but so I could come in here if I wanted to and hold it like this without touching the model. Paint the details in my cockpit glass or just wherever I need to go. Yeah, that seems pretty clever to me. I like that. And this, I'm not sure what this one's purpose is. It's a mystery. Yeah, that's something I need to get my hands on. I heard somebody recommend, was it the 3M version of Blue Poster Tack? Or is just the generic stuff good enough? I don't know. But, all right, so now we take a look at this red paint scheme. All its incredible variation. Not really. I think there's still a few spots that need some more paint applied. Let me put on my glove. Dollar Tree stuff. All right. I'm going to need to pick some up then, I guess, to use my new miniature holder there. Good googly wooglies. Can't even put a glove on what easily nowadays. Wow. That's amazing, Huntsman. I never have that kind of luck with that stuff. It's of course I'm not using the blue stuff. I had some white stuff I was using for a while, and it would work for a while, but then afterwards it just turned into, it was like gum you had chewed for too long. It would just become stringy and useless. Nice. I will definitely be going to the dollar store to try and pick up some of that stuff. All right, let's clean out the tip of this airbrush. Got some paint. Now I'm just kind of looking for light spots. 12 years old. So if I understood John correctly, it's not going to be much longer. We're going to be able to get our hands on this Badger dropship. So I'm excited to see what people do with it. Paint schemes and modifications. I mean, it's just, I think it's got a lot of possibilities. A lot. Alright. So I'm going to find me some mahogany now and see if I can't paint just a little bit of shadow in there. Or, it doesn't have to be mahogany. Transparent red iron oxide. That's probably too big a jump. Too big a jump. That's purpley red. That won't work. I should have figured this out ahead of time. I need some mahogany paint. That's definitely a purpley red. What to do? I'm not sure about this. Might be too much. It's the same thing. All right, well, I guess we're going to try some of this. So, yeah, virtual CAV-CON is fast approaching, and man, I am far behind. So, I have nothing but miniature painting in my free time for the next 2 weeks. I got to finish up my yellow guys, which, God forbid, I hope they're done this weekend. And then I got to get this terrain finished, and I've got to get the CAV teams painted up. I said I'm definitely drafting anybody that I can get to help me. So be careful if you see me sneaking up on you. I might have a paintbrush and some models to push at you. All right, what do we got going on now? It's a little bit darker. Let's try that. So now I'm just going to kind of go in and just try and bring in some shadows where the two pieces come together. It's a little bit different. Yes, Cthulhu. I definitely need to paint faster. Or I just need to, sort of like those birds that take advantage of other birds nesting and sneak their eggs in there. I just need to bring some of my models to Cthulhu's house and kind of slide them in amongst his current projects. And then I got to find a way to steal them back out. But yeah, that's probably the way to, it's probably a viable strategy as fast as he's been painting lately. I think I need to go a little darker. Get this stuff to go down a little faster. That's much more of a tomato-y red. Don't know if that's one of the birds that does it, but yeah, whatever it takes, right? I just need to find a way to get these miniatures painted, and Cthulhu's been cranking them out lately, so if I could just find a way to get him to paint some models for me by accident, I might be in good shape. Good for you, Cthulhu. Yeah, Tiger Wraith. That's basically what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some volunteers to paint my models for me. And volunteers, like, I'm not sure I'm using that word in the proper sense. Sort of trying to find a way to voice my, I don't know. I've been trying. I've been really struggling. I haven't had much success lately. But you know what? I'll soldier on, and I promise you, I'll have something to show. It might be Cthulhu's models after I break into his house late at night and borrow them. Strictly borrow them. But I'll have something to show. So what else is going on? WandaVision ended. I was very pleased with that series. I like comic stories in general. I'm a very big. I have a great amount of love for comics. That being said, I haven't read too many of them of late. Although I did this week, I started with my Marvel Unlimited subscription. I started reading a Hawkeye series penned by Cthulhu. I'm down with that. I am not afraid of Fabulous, nor am I afraid of Glittery. Not in the least. The Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye back in the 2012s, I think it was. I've just been enjoying the heck out of that. It's I saw some people on Discord, on another Discord channel that I'm part of, recommend it as a really good series, and so I popped over with, like I said, my Marvel subscription, and I opened it up and started reading it, and I like everything about it. It's interesting. It's the art style is really nice, very sort of muted, dark, earthy pastels. Just a lot of really good stuff. I'm super pleased with it. I'm about 2/3 of the way through his run on there, and then I think he did an earlier run on Iron Fist, and so now that I see his writing style, I'm definitely going to go look that up and see if I can watch that. I'm very excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, all that stuff. Over the weekend, my wife and I rewatched Iron Man 2 and Thor, the original Thor. Enjoyed the heck out of those. Just generally love comics, and I'm looking forward to the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, which is coming out on the 18th, which is also the night we're going to do our Big Stompy podcast episode. So right after that, I might be settling down to try and watch 4 hours of Zack Snyder cut, but I don't know. Maybe I'll put that off to the weekend, because that would be late in the morning. Very late. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to take a kind of a darker tint of, like I said, this kind of more tomato-y color. I don't know if you can tell the difference. This is red, and this is, to me, like a tomato color. Just kind of going in and shooting where the, 2 pieces of material meet, just to kind of give it sort of a transition or an outline. Just darkening things up to give it a little color variety. And if I find I've done it too much, I can always break out the original red and come back in and lift up the parts that are too dark to make them look good. Man, I gotta stop doing that with that leg. Yeah. time is it? 8:45. All right, I'm going to paint for about, I don't know, about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to try and get this tape off of here and see if this has been worth my effort or if I'm just going to end up peeling up the paint underneath it. I'm not sure which one it'll be. I don't actually, the models I paint mostly aren't big enough to mask. These little calves are really kind of hard to do that on. Although maybe I should try that, because, man, lately just brushing, just painting with a brush has just been, it's been a nightmare. Very, very difficult for me. All right. I'm familiar with Gaiman. I read American Gods. I read his cooperative thing with Terry Pratchett. I can't think of the name of that right now. It's Amazon did it with David Tennant, which is fantastic. God, I gotta be able to remember the name of that now. Good Omens. Good Omens. If you haven't read or especially watched that, man, I know who David Tennant is. I'm not a big Doctor Who guy, so he's just a guy I hear people really like. And I saw him in Jessica Jones, and I thought he did a solid job there. It's a very uncomfortable story for me, that first season of Jessica Jones. So it's kind of hard to watch. But, man, he tore up Good Omens. That figure of speech where they say the actor or the actress is like chewing the scenery. Oh my gosh, he did such a fantastic job. You definitely, if you have not watched Good Omens and you have the ability to watch it on Amazon, I would definitely put it in your list of things to check out. And if you're not a Terry Pratchett fan, you need to be. Now, The Watch is a series that was on AMC, I think. I watched it through Amazon, but definitely not representative of Terry Pratchett's vision, I don't think, but not a terrible watch. David Eddings. Yeah, those are all solid hits. Those all look like fantasy authors to me. David Eddings does some sci-fi stuff, doesn't he? Or some war stuff? Do I have him mixed up with somebody else, Tiger? Purple man is comfortable. Something is wrong. I'm confused, Tiger Wraith. These are your favorite authors, and you're not sure if he does science fiction. You've only read fantasy stuff by him, I guess is what you're telling me? Sci-fi authors that I really like. Oh, man. I'm terrible with names, by the way, so I have a bad memory for names. But I think Robert Hamilton does some stuff that I like. Of course, I like a lot of the older stuff. I like Larry Niven, Jerry Pournelle. Probably, I don't know. A lot of my favorite authors write fantasy, that's for sure. I guess it kind of depends on where you put Zelazny's Amber series, because that's one of my all-time favorites. And, I mean, it's technically fantasy, I guess, but they travel everywhere in that story. Literally, all throughout Infinite Shadow, so I'm not sure how to characterize that one. What am I doing on paint? Do I still have paint? Yes, I got paint. Okay. Frank Herbert's solid. Ilmarin, I thought Zelazny did finish Merlin's set. I've read all of those. I felt like that came to a conclusion. Was there something new he was going to do that he didn't make? I have definitely read the Merlin and the Amber series multiple times. I don't remember it being incomplete, but maybe there's some part of it I'm just not knowledgeable about. Okay. Now I know there was a person for a little while that he died of a car wreck. I don't know in particular the circumstances. I do know this. My wife and I went to a science fiction convention with the hope of getting to see him. He was a scheduled guest, and he died right before that. Yeah, I love the Ringworld stuff. It's really good. It's one of my earliest encounters. I also really like the Pack Protector book. I think it's just called Protector, the one where there's a human pack, and he's trying to avoid encountering the regular pack. I thought that was very, very interesting. Tila Brown and the Luck Gene and the Kazintis, and I can't remember the name of the hindmost. What his race's name was. But yeah. Oh, I know what I like, and I can't think of the author's name. But lately, I really enjoyed a series called the Bobaverse, which sounds really dumb, but it's really well written. It's super hard for me to characterize. Just Google the Bobaverse, and if you like science fiction with kind of a witty comedy in it, I think you might like it. Yeah, Imran, I wish he was still alive today, cranking out that Amber stuff, man. I would be on his Patreon. I would send him money every time he made a book. I mean, this Game of Thrones things and the way people are chasing that author to try and get his stuff done would have nothing on what I would hope Mr. Zelazny would be putting out for us if he were still kicking. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. Too bad. I was also, as a young person, I was a big Heinlein fan. I read literally everything Heinlein did that I could get my hands on. But I find it doesn't stand the test of time. I've gone back as an older adult. I mean, I read him as an adult, as a teenager and an adult, and I enjoyed it. But I find as an older adult, it's not my cup of tea anymore. Tiger Wraith, you keep playing around on us on the side. We're going to disown you, right? I mean, I feel kind of like, that sort of abused spouse syndrome, where it's like you keep going back and hanging out and talking with your ex-mecha game, but you tell us you're true and faithful. And I'm not sure we should believe you. I don't know what's going on here. I feel kind of at risk. Oh, yeah, that's what they all say. It was a long time ago, right? You could probably quote chapter and verse. Well, Imran, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I like escapist stories. I like escaping. Life is real enough. I need some fun. These are good as well. Yeah, all right. So what about does anybody have a clue to a good sort of mech, military, space navy series that isn't related to one of the games? Yeah, Good Huntsman. I Starship Troopers is solid. It's one of my favorites. I think my favorite Heinlein book is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. probably my favorite. Yeah, I've tried reading some of the, especially some of the later things where the subject matters were just kind of icky. I don't know. Maybe that's the right word. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned and I don't know. Just weird. All right, it's about 5 minutes still. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put down the airbrush. We're going to try and take off this tape and see if Santa Claus thinks we're naughty or nice. Santa Claus, are you with us? Let's just start right here with the big one. Try and go gentle and slow. See what we can do. Not terrible so far. Gonna need to clean up the edges a little tiny bit. I think we tore a little paint underneath the lip up there, but you know what? Anybody looks underneath the lip of this on my stream when I'm trying to play CAV ball, I will sick Tiger Wraith and Cthulhu on them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back with a brush and clean up. I got some paint underneath the edge of the tape, but it's a good start. Doesn't look too shabby, I think. I have read Armor by John Steakley. I like it. It's pretty solid stuff. I'm a 10-second bomb. I'm a 10-second bomb. 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. CAV Boss making an appearance. Speak of mecha science fiction, and CAV Boss will appear. Yeah, I may have those two references messed up, to be quite frank with you. I'm old and about half senile, so when I quote things, you might as well just imagine I'm making them up. And if that bothers you, then, you know, let me know. And if not, then just pretend like I know what I'm talking about, because probably I don't. So the reason I have this little tiny pinstriping is I was at Owaso's little satellite city here for Tulsa. And I was out there the other day with my dad, and I know there's this little model shop, it specializes in, like actual model kits. And I walked in there and, just to look around, they don't actually have a ton of stuff I need because they're all the paints are all Tamiya paints, and I don't actually use any of those, and I don't typically assemble historical models. But they had this big section of this little pinstriping. This stuff right here. I always like to buy something when I go in a store, so I bought a whole giant selection of this pinstriping that seems like it's about, anywhere from 0.4 millimeters up to 2.5 millimeters. Seems like I might be able to find a way to use that, especially if I could get my hands on a badger or something similar. I need to try and learn how to use those. Vampire. John Steakley. I have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with that one. Last one here. There, that's not too bad. All right, so I think it needs, I need to come in and punch these shadows down even a little bit harder. I can see the difference here in person, but it's pretty subtle. And, from the, on the camera, from the stream, it's not going to be easy to pick this up. So I definitely need to come in and hit this a little harder. I'll probably try and actually find my mahogany and see if I can't use it to build these shadows up a little bit. And then I've got some cleanup to do where I managed to get underneath the edge of the tape and whatnot. But I mean, it's not a bad start. I can go in and clean up the variation. And again, remember, this is a tabletop miniature game, right? So when I look at this thing from an arm's length, I think it's going to come out okay. So I got a handful more of these to do. I got 3 more of these to do. And then some other stuff, some turrets. So in CAV Ball, we don't have a goalie. We have 2 turrets that guard the goal with twin strength 5 particle bolt guns. And the actual area right in front of the goal is mined with anti-cav mines. So it's kind of a fun game. At least I think it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Things get blown up. Hopefully we get a chance to take a look at that here in a few weeks when we go up and do virtual CAV-CON. So it's 9 o'clock, folks. I enjoyed you hanging out with me. Soapy, if you're still around, glad to see you. Hope to see you again sometime soon. Mr. Cab Boss knows John Steakley personally. Well, how about that? Sparks, thanks for dropping in from outer space, or wherever Australia is, to be honest with you. John will be on tomorrow with Terrain Tuesday. I'm assuming he's working on the big desert board, the one with the pyramid in the center. Then Wednesday, me and John chit-chatting, hanging out, talking about, surely to goodness, we'll be talking about the schedule for virtual CAV-CON. Please, Cab Boss, let's do the schedule. And then Saturday, you got Chris Lewis sculpting something which we all want to buy. I'm 100% sure. I want to buy it. Whatever it is. I don't even know what it is, and I want to buy it. So that's what's going on here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I encourage you to be the best person you can possibly be. Find somebody you don't know and do something nice. Help them out. Make them smile. Make their day a little bit easier. If we all do that, the world's a little bit better place. I appreciate you all. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.